Hi friends. Some of my students asked me a question. So how can I proficient in English? How can we proficient in English? That means having the basic proficiency that is LSRW, listening, reading, speaking and writing. They asked the question because they finished their education from Malayalam medium, especially from government schools. And how can they proficient? They are not so much proficient in their language. So my answer, definitely you can be proficient if you spend some time. You just spend some time daily to read English, to listen English, and to write English, and also share some time to speak English. It's very easy. Subscribe one English newspaper. It's either Hindu, Indian Express, or Times of India, any such English newspaper, and spend 1 hour daily. You can spend it early morning or evening time or night. But that time, 1 hour, you read it. If it possible, read it loudly, it is good. That's my habit, reading the newspaper loudly. From my childhood days itself, it was my hobby to read English and Malayalam newspaper loudly. While you read it loudly, it's audible, and so the clear pronunciation you can follow, and also you can hear what you read. And so it's at that same time it is listening, and it's the same time it's reading. So the best thing is reading newspaper. You read the front page, second page, and the editorial column and sports page and all. While you're reading the second page, that means regional news. You can see it's very simple. But the front page, it may be sometimes it may be difficult, and also the editorial column it may be difficult. But when you read it daily, you will confronted with the words, sentences, and usages. Day by day, you will confronted with these words and sentences, and so definitely these words and sentences will come to your mind, and it will be in your mind. When it needed, you may use such words or usages, and the basic structure you will have. The grammar, you can study the grammar, grammatical laws, rules, regulations, etc. But it is very difficult to understand, or it's very difficult to remember all these laws, rules. But when you read it daily, the structure will be in your mind. So make it compulsory to read newspaper. The second thing is that you write something. It is better to write the English editorial column to Malayalam. Translation is good, because while you translate the things, you will have two important things, that you will have the basic proficiency in English, at the same time you will have the knowledge. That means most of the important things will discuss by the editorial columns, and so you will have a basic idea about what's happening in the world, and most of the important news you will translate. It's a good thing. At the same time, it's better you read the editorial column of a Malayalam newspaper, that's newspaper in mother tongue, and write it in, translate it in English. It's good. The third thing that you want to do is that listen. You spend some time to listen. Nowadays, a lot of chances are there, because radio is there, television is there, smartphone is there. A lot of chances in the smartphone to listen English programs. A lot of programs are YouTube, different programs are there. You just upload and listen it. download it and listen it. So it's very easy nowadays to listen, spend some time for that. And the last one is very important, I think. You should have some friends or somebody, and you discuss in English, that by live discussion or by phone itself you can do. While you telephone to your friends, make it in English. So, if you do these four things in your life daily, you will have the basic English proficiency, and you may be good, and others will say that he is good in English, having the basic proficiency in listening, reading, speaking, and writing. And directly you can write the IELTS or such examinations. You can score high scores in such examinations, and in competitive examinations like PSC or some other examinations, you may get good marks. This is my humble advice to you all. Just try your best.